The first discussions of high-speed rail in Virginia came in the 1980s when it was proposed to build a super airport east of Richmond and west of Norfolk. The high-speed rail was seen as a way to move the passengers to the airport, which had to be way out in the country because 5,000 acres were needed for that super airport. The super airport was never built because of the impact of 9/11 and other factors. Still, it was a major project that Richmond and Hampton Roads leadership worked on together, probably the first. At the same time, in 1989, some of the same Hampton Roads leaders, myself included, began pursuing better passenger rail service to Newport News and here in Norfolk, which hadn't had rail service in a dozen years at the time, and on that, obviously, important success has been achieved. We were a few years into that effort when we got a call from the retired president of the RF&P Railroad. A gentleman named Dick Beadles invited us to Richmond to explore working together to improve passenger service for our two regions and across the Commonwealth and eventually across the Southeast. Every vision begins with its dreamer. As we've all learned in the ensuing 30 years, we had just been introduced to the visionary who would help get the project on track and turn dreams of fast, frequent, and reliable passenger rail into reality. He could already see the opportunities.
I was keenly aware that the RF&P Railroad corridor, which parallels I-95, had excess capacity, unused capacity, and yet I-95 was overtaxed at times. Not all time, but at times. It was unreliable. So all of these pieces began to come together that suppose we had some decent, as I might have referred to it, intercity rail service, and ultimately maybe even European-style high-speed rail service that linked DC and Central Virginia and Hampton Roads, just to name those urban areas in Virginia. My dear friend Jim Ukrop was then chair of the Greater Richmond Chamber of Commerce, and it occurred to me that if I could get Jim interested, which I succeeded in doing, and if I could get the chamber interested in being involved in a leadership way, then some cooperative endeavor involving the business leadership of Hampton Roads and the business leadership of Richmond would represent a powerful driver of achieving some improvement in connectivity in this urban crescent, as some of us had called it, between Northern Virginia, DC, and Hampton Roads. In the year 2000, Virginia, with North Carolina assistance and with assistance from various business sponsors, and in fact from the General Assembly that earmarked $100,000, I think it was, towards this endeavor, we put on a Southeast High-Speed Rail Expo and conference that was held at the old Broad Street Station, which we all know now as the Science Museum of Virginia. That was a major step forward. The next year, in 2001, Virginians for High-Speed Rail produced a master plan, you might say, for rail development in Virginia. It's very, very similar to what has occurred since then through various administrations, Republican and Democrat alike, that have gradually advanced the rail agenda in Virginia, not as a panacea, not as a solution to all of our traffic, transportation, mobility needs, but as an important ingredient. No matter how much money the state of Virginia allocated to I-95 and I-64 East, there was a need to augment that transportation capability with rail and anything else that's viable. And it was that policy determination which the Governor Northern embraced and articulated in December 2019 that put us on the course that we're on today, which we are celebrating here in the current year, 2024. Our fate here in Virginia, even including the Charlottesville, Lynchburg, Roanoke, Blacksburg, Christiansburg routes, the latter being proposed, not in reality yet. All of that depends on a healthy Northeast corridor operation. But the southeastern market is going to be a growing market, but somehow Hampton Roads needs to be connected to that Raleigh, Durham Triangle, Greensboro, Charlotte, Piedmont area, as Richmond is going to be connected. So it needs to be a Virginia-North Carolina triangle, not just a North Carolina triangle. I see us continuing to build momentum, which translates into more service, better service, more reliable service, not yet European high-speed rail service, but as I've remarked to many people along the way, it's not just how fast you go, it's how little time you spend standing still or slowing down. The possibilities are exciting and expansive, so I can dream on, which I love to do, but others are going to have to make it happen, not me. I've had my time, I've had my fun with it, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.